All right, what's going on? Welcome to Insight with Irv. I want to share with you because it's been asked quite a bit how I learn skills faster. I wanted to share this with you because that gets asked quite a bit, especially like in the content creation side. People ask me, how do you know so much about business credit, or how do you know how to talk to a camera? I'll tell you right now, I'm still learning every single day. So don't let it fool you. Like every single day, we're trying to find different angles. I'm always absorbing as much information as I can. The key thing here is a couple things that I'll be sharing with you. So I don't want to give too much away just yet, but the key thing here is everything that I'm going to give you, make sure to actually apply it. Like if there's anything that you take from this, make sure to actually apply. So let's go into the first phase. There's three phases. First phase is you want to study. I want you to pick a topic that you want to learn about. So if you are looking to learn ads or if you are looking to learn content creation, I want you to study, but I'm going to be very specific on how I want you to study, and I'm going to be very specific on the timeline of how much I actually want you to study. So I want you to study just enough to where you gain a baseline or a general understanding that okay, I kind of get how this works. Right when you're there, that's enough. Before we move on to phase two, right when you get to the phase of, okay, I kind of get how this works, that's when you want to move on into phase two. But before we move into phase two, I want to tell you what you're going to study from. You can study from things like books, consulting, paying somebody for their time who's ahead of you, who's done the thing that you're looking to do, videos like YouTube, podcasts, courses, training material. Again, paying somebody for services to teach you the ins and the outs. But I am a little what I say hesitant to. I was actually hesitant to put this in here because I know that the minute that I tell someone go out and study, this is where they're going to stay. And so this is why I put a baseline around it. And so you can usually get a pretty good understanding on a material within around 2 to about 10 hours worth of research, give or take. I think 10, some people say 20, depends how deep you want to go. Again, the whole goal here is just to get a general understanding as fast as possible so that you're not completely incompetent about the subject that you're about to dive into. So whatever that is, let's say 2 to 10 hours max, just enough. Number two, or phase two, is you want to do the skill. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Irv. I've only consumed about 2 to 10 hours of material. By the way, 2 to 10 hours of material is a long time. If you listen to just one audiobook on average, they're about 7 hours, give or take. Given most books out there on a subject, half of it is fluff. So take that with a grain of salt. So you probably have to go through 4 or 5 books. So it's really going to come back down to 7 or 8. That's why I said mix it up between podcasts and videos and courses. So that way you can gain the best of both worlds, right? Both visually and audibly. But going back to it, you now want to start doing the thing. I've learned more from creating content and shooting content than I have from watching any YouTube video. I'll say that right now. Now, don't get me wrong, there's pointers that I take to try to maybe help the speech out, to maybe expand on our lexicon, to maybe get rid of the oohs and the ums. But in my opinion, that's a work in progress. And you're not going to be able to get rid of that just by watching content, just by reading books. This is why the doing is so important because you're now putting into practice everything that you learned. Picture this. Imagine a doctor that just got out of medical school and he's about to perform open heart surgery on you. He has all the years of material up here, but you're still a little hesitant to let that person operate on you because they still haven't done the thing. So it's the same thing here. You want to get to the point where you've finished studying the skill that you want to pick up, and then you want to apply baseline knowledge in real time in the field on the skill that you're looking to develop. That's how you build skills faster. And that's why I'm telling you, this is how I've done it. It's I pick up baseline and then I apply the skill. Now, when do you move on to phase two or from phase two to phase three? Because phase two is you learn the basics of skills by doing the skills. You do it until the skill becomes boring. When what you're doing becomes boring and repetitive, you can do it with your eyes closed. You're falling asleep doing it. That's when I would say you can venture out into phase three, which is more of the advanced. But a little like asterisk word of caution is we're never too advanced for the basics. So just keep that in mind. Basics is foundation, fundamentals of how everything is built. And so when you feel like you're drifting away and you're not getting the results that you want with the new skills, you're getting too fancy. And so you want to move back into the basics. So in phase 3 though, going back to it, in phase 3, this is when you can test out different variables, you can test out different techniques, you can test out maybe making it your own. At first, when you're starting to develop a skill, especially in sales, this is what happened to me early on, is I would sound like the people that I was modeling after. And I remember my wife one time listening to me make a cold call. She said, "Man, you sound just like so and so making that cold call." And I said, "You think so?" And I looked up to this person, and she said, "Yeah." At the time, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I started thinking to myself, "But wait a minute, I want to sound like my own guy, right?" Because there's some things in my bag that I wanted to use, and it started working. I was like, "Man, I got this down packed." And so I started sounding like myself. And so at first, you may cut hair similar to someone else, or you may have your marketing, like the way that you present your content, may be similar to someone, but you ultimately want to start moving away from that, because once you start behaving more like yourself in everything that you do, not just in front of the camera, but just in everything that you do, from the way that you shake someone's hand to the way that you introduce yourself, when it comes off like your authentic self, people want to do business with real people. One of the ways that I heard it put, and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but I'll say it the way that I heard it, was Irv. When you try to be, or when you try to sound like someone else, no one's home. The person that you're trying to be like isn't there, and you're not there either because you're trying to be like them. And that right there stood out to me because I was like, whoa, that's exactly what a lot of people suffer from, is, well, that works for so and so, so it's going to work for me. And I think that the world needs more authenticity, and I think that the world is being robbed of people's gifts when we're sheltering it and we're keeping it to ourselves because we're too scared to be judged of, this is who I really am, this is how I do business. But again, going back into the skill sets, anytime that you feel that you want to learn something quickly, one of the things that I've done is 2 to 10 hours max, do the thing. 2 to 10 hours, do the thing. I want to learn ads. Okay, let me just find out what these little prompts mean. Okay, let me find out, ABC. Okay, what does this mean? What does ABC? Okay, what does this mean if I click here? Okay, what does CPC mean? What does CPA mean? Okay, cool. Got it. What does CAC mean? Okay, cool. Got it. Now let's start practicing. Boom, 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 boom. Let's start setting a campaign up. Okay, cool. Let's start testing creative. Okay, cool. Let's start spending dollars. Okay, cool. Now we start getting feedback if we're actually learning the thing in real time. So that's how I learn skills personally, a lot faster. If you found value in this content and if you want to give that thing a try, go ahead and give it a try. I think it's going to help you at least get a little bit better, right? Which is the whole point of why I made this piece for you. But if you found value in this content today, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget that anytime we are posting, we are not posting with any ads. So hopefully up to this point, you've heard this completely ad free. So if you appreciate that, we would appreciate you if you leave us a 5-star review. Again, if you found value in this content, and consider considering sharing this content with a friend, family, or relative, or someone that you just want to see them do better for themselves. But other than that, this is your boy Irv. I will see you on the other side and in the next episode.